Hi everybody, Trent here with your newest Baselight Insight demo. Today what we're looking at is a query that George put together recently looking at Super Bowl advertisement content. And what he was looking at specifically was how have these ads changed over time and kind of their themes, and then also how has the cost per 30 seconds of ads for the Super Bowl also changed over time, right? And we have roughly 20 years worth of data here. So this is the query that he shared on multiple social media websites. I'm going to walk you through today how to actually recreate this in Baselight, just to give you an idea of how simple this is to create these wonderful graphics and these insights using the built-in tools that we have here. So first, what we're going to do is just go to our home page here. We're going to start by looking for some data. So first off, let's go to the data catalog here. We're going to type in Super Bowl television ratings. And what we have here, we have a few different ones. You can see a bunch of different television rating things come up, Super Bowl stats, everything like that. We're going to look specifically at this one and see what it looks like. So we have the data description here, the category here on the right side. We can see the license that it is, the source. But what I really want to take a look at is the table here. Let's take a look at what the actual data shows us. So we have the actual Super Bowls. We have the date that it was, TV network, average viewership, total viewers, and ratings, and then also the cost of the 30-second ad, right? So this is going to be absolutely key for our query, looking at how what ads have changed in cost over time, as well as how they've changed in terms of themes. So let's take a look really quickly before we add this at the schema as well. We can see the variable names and their types, right? And this is going to be absolutely key when we're typing in our SQL queries to know exactly how to interact with these variables. So let's add this to add to query. Now we're going to create a brand new one, and it's going to be Super Bowl Insights, changes of ads and costs over time. And I want to point this out. If you wanted to keep this private without anybody able to be able to see it really, you can always click this here, right? This defaults to everyone can see this query, so it's obviously clicked. But if I wanted to keep it private, I could just click that, and now no one will be able to see it. But I want to share this with all of you, so obviously we're going to make it so everyone can see it. So I'm going to do create query. Now what we have here is the built-in query engine on Baselight, right? So you can see over here on the right-hand side, we have our pinned table. You can click these little arrows to learn more about them. Again, this is the variable name and type on the right-hand side. So when we do start creating our query, we now know how to use them. All right, next thing we have to do now, since this information is primarily just on ratings, total viewers, and a little bit of information on cost per 30 seconds of ads, we also want to make sure that we have the information on the types of ads, right? And so what we're going to type in here, we're going to actually just do Command K, and we can search data sets directly in the query engine. So we're going to type in Super Bowl ads. Let's see what comes up. All right, so we have multiple different things here. Super Bowl ads by year, Super Bowl television ratings, Super Bowl fund stats. This one looks like what I probably want to take a look at. So let's see what this is. So we see here, analyzing funny, patriotic, and production promotion ads by year. We have the description down here. What this data set is going to be showing us is basically the year from the Super Bowl that it was pulled, the brand that was being advertised, and then this person went through and they actually figured out the types of themes. So we have funny, patriotic, product quality, celebrity, danger, animals, and use sex. So we're going to actually use this one to be able to generate our themes in our query. So let's click Add to Query again. And you'll see here Super Bowl Insights pops up. So we're going to click that. And now you'll notice on here on the right side, it's been added. We're going to click Go to Query. And now you can see both of these on the right-hand side. So next step that we have to do is combine these and do a few different things here. So I'm just going to copy and paste a query actually. And this is the one that was directly used by George. What I'm going to do is just walk you through exactly what's happening here instead of typing it out in real time because that would take too much time. But as you can see, we're selecting the year here. We're giving it a little bit of a retitle. We're counting the different types of ads and then also renaming them, right? So in that last data set, that last table I was showing you from the Super Bowl ads one, and you can see here how they're named in theirs. We see George is kind of changing these and filtering them for a little bit. It's a little easier to use them in a chart, right? You can see we're pulling it from this data set, which is over here on the right-hand side. We're joining it by year with the other data set that we have here for the actual ratings. We're filtering it simply between 2000 and 2020, and then grouping it by date, household rating, and cost. All right, so and then ordering this end up by year. Now what we're going to do is just click run. And what we're seeing here down at the bottom is we're just waiting for the results, and we've now done all the things we just said we were going to do, right? We combined these two data sets. We now have the cost per 30 seconds of ads in nominal dollars. We have the ratings, the types of ads grouped, right? So there were 8 funny ads in 2000, it says. There were 4 animal ads in 2000, so on and so forth. And we can go through and take a look at what this actually looks like from a data set. If we wanted to, we could download these results either as a Parquet file or a CSV file. Or if I simply want to make it even easier for people to see what this is without them having to actually use the data, I can go in and create a chart. Now our chart's going to look a little bit different than George's because we're just doing this as an example, but you'll be able to get the idea. So we'll click on chart, and what this does is bring us right into our Baselight chart editor, right? You can do this all within the platform. So let's click axis here, and we're going to pick our first, well actually first we're going to pick orientation, we'll pick horizontal. And then we're going to pick our first category. And this is going to be done by year. All right. And we're going to give it a title. And it's going to be year. And we're going to show the values. And now since we showed the values, you can see our x-axis has popped up here with the year and the individual years beneath. For series, we're also going to make sure that we click show values. This will just make it easier to see exactly what's happening when we do chart our y-axis there on the left-hand side and the right-hand side potentially. So let's go add series. So right now we see we have ratings as the default, but let's say I don't want to do ratings. Let's say I actually would prefer to do, let's see, number of patriotic ads per year. And we're going to change that, or we're going to keep it actually as red. So we're just going to keep this as is for now, patriotic. And let's say I want to add all the other types of ads, right? So we're going to do patriotic animals. We're going to change that to be orange, so it's a little easier to see the difference. So we're happy with that one. And now let's go and add the other types. So we're going to do funny. We're going to make this green. And let's add one more, just to show exactly, we could keep adding more and more if we wanted to. Let's add sexy in here. We'll make that blue. Okay, so now what we have here, we've added in a few different types of ads over the years to see how the themes are changing, right? So we have patriotic, animals, funny, and sexy. You can see these are normalized to the right-hand side for the chart. Now, what I do want to also do is add the cost, right? And so what we're going to do with the cost is to go in to our ad series, and it's probably not going to make sense to normalize that to the left-hand side, right? Because the highest number we have is 11, whereas the cost per 30 seconds of ads in the Super Bowl are probably in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars over time. So what we're going to need to do, and I'm going to show you what this looks like if we don't, we're going to put in cost of 30 seconds here, and we're now going to need to add a second axis, right? You can see these are already in the millions of dollars. It doesn't necessarily make sense to have them normalized to the left axis with everything else. So you can see here, this is actually popping up right away. Alternate axes. Let's click that. And now you can see this is normalized to the right side, okay? So you can see our right side y-axis is now in the millions of dollars, where the left side one is in the single digits, right? Let's make this a little easier to see. We're just going to make the color here black. We're then going to normalize the display points as black as well. We're not going to have any display or anything like that or any labels. So what we've done is essentially recreate the chart that George did. Now, if I want to share it, what I'm going to do is click these three buttons here, or sorry, this button here with these three little things. Click the copy, and then we're going to put this just directly into, go to this, go here, and put our new one in. And you can see we've essentially recreated the entire chart that George did. So thank you so much for joining us today. This is your quick Baselight insight. Again, we took a look at the Super Bowl ads over time, how the cost has changed, and we built this entire chart and all of our query and combined multiple data sets all here in Baselight. Now, when you start creating your own, please make sure you tag us on socials. We'd love to see the graphics you're creating once we do open up the platform. But until then, thank you for your time, and I look forward to sharing more Baselight insights with you later on.